أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Dear brothers and sisters, on behalf of Husayniyat al-Mujab and al-Mujab Studio, we offer our condolences first to the Imam of our time, Imam al-Zaman, Ajalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, and we offer our condolences to all the Shia around the world on the martyrdom of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, the son of Imam Ali, Sayyid al-Sajideen, alayhim as-salatu was-salam, and offer our condolences on the martyrdom of the ambassador of Imam al-Hussein, the right hand of Imam al-Hussein, Muslim ibn Aqil, alayhim as-salatu was-salam. Dear brothers and sisters, the 7th of Dhul Hijjah is the martyrdom of Imam al-Baqir, the 5th Imam. I'd like to present a narration from the Imam, and he says, قتل جدي الحسين ولي 4 سنين وإني لأذكر مقتله. Imam al-Baqir says, my grandfather al-Hussein, when he was martyred, I was 4 years old, and I definitely remember his martyrdom and the way he was killed, and I will never forget it. I always remember it. Imam al-Baqir ﷺ was present on the plains of Karbala, and he witnessed all of the events that unfolded. And he saw what happened to his uncles, and what happened to his grandfather, and what happened to his great uncle Al-Abbas. And then after the deed was done, after the Asr of Ashura, when they mounted the heads on the lances, Imam al-Baqir, he saw this. And then also Imam Baqir witnessed the events that unfolded after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, the tragedy that befell upon the household of the Holy Prophet when the enemies came and they torched the tents. They took the women and children in captivity, they whipped them, they beat them, they slapped the daughters of Imam Hussein, and they pulled out her earrings from her ears, such that her earlobes were wounded and flowing with blood. All of these accounts Imam al-Baqir ﷺ had witnessed. When the caravan returned to Medina after the captivity in Damascus, Imam Baqir witnessed his father, Imam Zayn al-Abidin, crying for almost 30 years for his father's martyrdom, and crying for the martyrdom of his brothers and his uncles and his relatives. He would always see his father in grief, such that when the month of Muharram would arrive, Imam Baqir would see that his father's mood would change from the first day. And as each day approached to the 10th of Ashura, Imam Zayn al-Abidin's feelings and emotions would grow more in sorrow. He would be overwhelmed by the events that he would remember. And Imam Baqir is witnessing this, such that on the day of Ashura, they would cry and wail, and they would beat their faces and remember the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. Imam Baqir ﷺ, he remembered this. Dear brothers and sisters, imagine a 4-year-old child witnessing all of this, and then after he has to sit with his father and witness that the sorrow that his father had to go through. We offer our condolences to the entire Ahlul Bayt, and especially Imam al-Zaman ﷺ, because Imam al-Zaman, his heart is broken on this day. He's weeping for his grandfather Imam al-Baqir. Imam al-Baqir ﷺ was martyred, he was poisoned whilst he was in Medina. And when he was poisoned, of course, brothers and sisters, you know what happens when you get poisoned. When someone gets poisoned, they say that the liver dries up, the throat dries up. The person needs water, but he cannot drink water. So I am sure that at that moment, Imam Baqir definitely felt what his grandfather Imam Hussein went through on the plains of Karbala. And I'm sure that he left this world in remembrance of his grandfather's martyrdom. And also, he would welcome the month of Muharram and encourage his Shi'as to mourn Imam Hussein. And it's quite the occurrence that Imam Baqir, his martyrdom is on the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, which is just a few, like almost 23 days from Muharram. So in a way, we are already getting ready for the month of Muharram. And also, the other event that helps us step into the mood of Muharram is the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, the day of Arafah, which is the day of Ziyarah of Imam Hussein. And also it is the day of the martyrdom of his beloved Muslim ibn Aqil, whom he sent to Kufa to try and get the people of Kufa to side with Imam Hussein and to stand against the tyrants. Dear brothers and sisters, we know what unfolded. Ibn Ziyad, he made sure that no one would assist Muslim ibn Aqil. He threatened everyone that if anyone supported Muslim, he would kill them. And we witnessed how he killed Hazrat Hani ibn Urwa. Hazrat Hani ibn Urwa was martyred in a way because Hazrat Hani was the one who welcomed Hazrat Muslim and he kept him in his house. And from Hazrat Hani's house, they started to gather the forces and they started to gather the people to try and side with Imam Hussein. But then on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, dear brothers and sisters, Ibn Ziyad took Hazrat Muslim, and we know the events that unfolded. He had a great battle in the streets of Kufa. He fought like his uncle Haydar, and everyone knew that he's from a special bloodline of warriors. His great uncle was Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, and he fought so valiantly. But the enemies, they said, we cannot take him on one by one. We have to surround him. And they gathered all their forces from every single angle, from the rooftops, from every alleyway, and they captured Muslim, they wounded him, and they took him to Ibn Ziyad, and Ibn Ziyad took him up on the top of Darul Imara, and that is where Hazrat Muslim's head was removed from his body, and Imam Hussein ﷺ came to Hazrat Muslim's daughter, and he rubbed his hand on her head, and she said, "Oh my uncle, you are rubbing your hand on my head in the same way as if is custom when a person becomes orphaned. Is everything okay with my father?" And Imam says, "Today I am your father, because your father is no more." May Allah grant us to be amongst the true Shia and amongst the true servants of the Ahlul Bayt, and may Allah give us this blessing and this energy that we can commemorate this month of Muharram in the best of our ways that the Ahlul Bayt ﷺ had taught us. And this is what they taught us. They taught us to revive the martyrdom and to revive the remembrance of the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. There's a very famous narration by Imam al-Radha. There is a very famous narration by Imam Radha alayhi salatu wasalam when he's talking to Ibn Shabib, and he says, "Oh Ibn Shabib, if you want to cry for anything, cry for the martyrdom of my grandfather Hussein, because he was murdered, he was killed while he was thirsty, and they slaughtered him like as if they slaughtered a ram. Inna lillah